Hello everyone, welcome to ITLS Academy. It is a great learning platform to learn anything and everything from the comfort of your home. Let me introduce myself. I am your mentor, Gitanjali Jha. I am a content creator, storyteller, experience designer, corporate trainer, and an author. With over 15 years of cross-functional experience across leading brands like H&M, Shoppers Stop, Godrej, and Future Group, I stand at the powerful intersection of business, creativity, leadership, and entrepreneurship. My journey has been one of turning ideas into impactful stories through visual design, transformational training programs, and the written words. As a corporate trainer, mentor, and entrepreneur, I have conducted pan India workshops on soft skills, technology, leadership, and professional excellence, impacting employees and emerging leaders across the retail and service industries. I don't just train people to perform better, I help them think like leaders, act like entrepreneurs, and build careers with ownership and purpose. I have had the privilege of serving as a guest lecturer at NIFT and Vogue Institute and of contributing to non-profit education initiatives through Unnati, where I work closely with young minds to help them rise beyond limitation and circumstances. Trust me, giving back brings boundless joys to us. Alongside my corporate journey, I am also a published fiction author of two novels, F Factor and Love Arranged. Storytelling is at the heart of everything I do. It shapes how I communicate, how I train, and how I help leaders connect with people, vision, and impact. My academic foundation includes a degree in fashion technology from NIFT, an MBA from NIRM, and professional certifications in digital marketing from Google and content design, a blend that fuels both strategic leadership and creative execution. Today, I work with leaders, startups, and entrepreneurs to help them build confidence, clarity, communication power, and conscious leadership so they don't just grow businesses, they build legacy driven brands and purpose led success. So, this is lecture 11, Commercialization of Bioagriculture Products. In our last lecture, we learned about evaluating ideas. Now, we will learn about the commercialization of our ideas and products. Great, get ready. Bioagricultural products, what are these? Bioagriculture products are natural, sustainable alternatives to synthetic chemicals derived from living organisms or natural materials like microbes, plant extracts, and seaweed used to enhance plant growth such as biostimulants, protect crops from pests and diseases, biopesticides, biofungicides, and improve soil health, biofertilizers, aiming for efficient, eco-friendly farming by reducing chemical residue and promoting soil regeneration. We all have heard about organic farming, right? People are leaving corporate jobs, going back to villages to do organic farming. Why? Because it is the need of the hour, it is in demand, and they are making millions. Get ready for the revolution. What are different types of bioagricultural products? Number one is biopesticides. Use living organisms like bacteria, fungi, or natural substances such as plant extracts to control pests, weeds, and diseases. For example, bioinsecticides, biofungicides, and bioherbicides. Number two is biostimulants. It improves plant vigor, nutrient uptake, stress tolerance, and crop yield. For example, seaweed extracts, humic acids, amino acids. Number three is biofertilizers. Contain microorganisms that fix atmospheric nitrogen or solubilize phosphorus, making nutrients available to plants. For example, mycorrhizal fungi, nitrogen fixing bacteria. What are the advantages of bioagricultural products? Number one is environmental safety. Fully biodegradable, non-toxic with no harmful residues in the soil or crops, right? There is no residues left, so pollution decreases. Sustainability. It is very sustainable and supports regenerative agriculture by improving soil health and nutrient cycles. Soil becomes fertile, there is no erosion of fertility, and all the waste goes back to soil. Reduced chemical dependency. It reduces the dependency on the chemical by combating pest resistance and lower reliance on synthetic chemicals. Improve yield and quality. It enhances plant productivity and resilience to stresses like climate change. So when we are using bioagriculture products for a considerable amount of time, overall health of soil, crops increase, and it is environment friendly. Now, let's understand the commercialization of bioagriculture products. What does it mean? Commercialization of bioagriculture products involves bringing innovations like biopesticides, biofertilizers, and biofortified crops to market, focusing on profitability, supply chain development, and overcoming technical regulatory hurdles, moving beyond small-scale farm to large-scale profitable ventures by connecting producers and consumers, creating new markets for sustainable solutions like molecular farming and PGRs, and ensuring robust product stewardship for success. So it's a win-win situation for everybody, the big partners, the small partners, and the customers, that is farmers. And from the farmers we all get nutrient retained crops, not the eroded nutrients products, which are organic and healthy for us. Let's understand agricultural biological markets. Okay, so it is growing constantly. In 2024 it was $15.29 billion, which increased to $17.42 in 2025, and it is projected to grow at a very fast rate in 2032 up to 44. So it's almost 3 times. So it's a huge opportunity for bio entrepreneurs. You can always look towards working in the this field if it matches your interest and values. So what are the trends? Adoption of integrated pest management practices for sustainable agriculture. Agriculture is also moving towards sustainability. So how we can manage pest in sustainable way? What are the drivers? Increasing production of horticulture crops and cereal crops. Risk associated with using synthetic chemicals in agriculture, right? So the chemical pesticides are not good for crops, it's not good for us, it's not good for environment. So we are moving towards reducing, minimizing, and ultimately not using chemical pesticides. North America is leader, whereas other countries are catching up, right? So what are the application methods in this? Soil treatment. How do they do soil treatment? By foliar spray, seed treatment, and others. Mexico is leader in application method, right? So what are the market types? By type: biopesticides, biostimulants, biofertilizers; by source: microbial, biochemicals; and by crop: raw crops, fruits and vegetables, and others. So learn about this bioagriculture markets in detail so that you can understand it properly. What are the key takeaways? Size and forecast of 2024 says market size is USD 15.10 billion. In 2025 it is going to be 17.16 billion, and forecasted market is 43.58 billion with the CAGR growth of 14.24 from 2025 to 2032. So we are in a very lucrative period as far as bioagriculture market is considered. It is a great time to do business in this sector, so go for it. What are the challenges? Nothing is gained without pain. So let's learn about the challenges in the bioagriculture products. Market gaps: connecting willing organic farmers with customers due to missing supply chains in packing, retail, and distribution. So we have farmers, we have customers. How do we connect them? That we have to learn as an entrepreneur to fill the gaps. Perception: shifting the view from organic biofarming as NGO-driven to a profitable business model. People are still taking it as a passion, but it is a huge business. So we need to educate our customers, educate our team, and shift their perception. There are technical hurdles as well, ensuring stability and field efficacy of delicate bioagents requiring better formulation and delivery systems. How do we overcome these technical hurdles? We have to educate our farmers to use technology to get the easy access of information and better supplies chain so that products reach to them quickly when they need it. Otherwise they will again go to the small markets from there where they are buying traditionally and use chemical fertilizers. The whole cycle needs to be revived again. Great. Protect product stewardship, preventing contamination and ensuring proper market segregation. So there should be clear segmentation of the market. You have to understand where you are specifically using your product and services and target that market. Regulatory framework, navigating approvals which vary by country and product. So if you are planning to go beyond India, we need to learn what are their laws, what are their regulations. We need to work within the legal framework. Bioagricultural products. Let's understand the opportunities. Where there is challenge, opportunities go hand by hand. Value chain development. So as we saw that there is a gap in reaching the product in supply and distribution, so we need to develop value chain where products reach quickly, minimum delay, so that there is no loss of crops. Creating business opportunities in supporting sectors like organic feed processing and retail. Our supply chain system has to be very strong because these agricultural products have very limited shelf life. How do we increase their shelf life, especially for fruits and vegetables? How do we do that the freshness is maintained without compromising with the nutrient values? We need to find new market niches, the market which is already captured. We have huge potential, especially in India, where there are plenty of rural markets and farming happens everywhere. Focus on biopesticides, natural products and plant-derived therapeutics. Go to the new market, educate the customers why they need to move towards organic farming, what are the advantages, how they are going to earn more, how they are going to eat better and healthier. Educate them about them, then talk about profits. Collaborative models where everybody is in a win-win situation, all are working in a team. Partnerships between researchers, companies and governments to scale up innovations, right? As it is happening in India, so biotechnology sector is growing fast, but there is lots of scope to collaborate better. Focus on profitability. As a business person, you have to have your numbers on your hands, right? Demonstrating that biopractice can be large-scale profitable ventures. Now the time of pilot running is done. We have to scale up. We have to reach every customer. We have to give sustainable products to everybody to save our planet together. How do we do that? By focusing on profitability, by focusing on scalability. Great. Let's understand some of the bioagriculture product leaders, learn their stories and see how they combat the challenges, how you can learn from them. Go visit their companies if possible. Bayer AG is the biggest one, BASF SE, both are in Germany. Syngenta is in Switzerland, UPL Limited India, Marine Bio Innovations US, Ciepasa is Spain, Corporate Biological Systems in Netherlands, PI Industries India, Novozymes AS Denmark, Bovan Groups US. So these are the companies which are the leaders from where we can learn a lot, and also from the small companies, right? So see what you are going to do from your learning, how you are going to make the most of it, how you can be market leader in your niche market and slowly in the global market. It will take time, but if your approach is right, if your research is right, supply chain distribution is right, if you are collaborating properly, nothing is impossible. Sky is the limit. Let's understand some of the trends. A rise in initiatives and supports by government to fuel market growth. Government has understood that we cannot do Without these products, we have to move towards sustainability. So governments across the globe are increasingly acknowledging the negative impact of conventional pesticides. Biopesticides with their natural origins and targeted action offer a more sustainable alternative, aligning with the government goals for environment protection. The product is regarded as safer compared to other conventional pesticides, and thus in many countries including India, its registration requires less data and time. For instance, in India, the Central Insecticides Control Board and Registration Committee have developed simplified rules for the registration of biopesticides compared to chemical pesticides registrations in order to promote the use of biopesticides products in agriculture. So that's a good news for us. We need to save every minute to reach the market faster. Start your journey now. Let's explore this very interesting topic further. How do we commercialize the bioagriculture products? We learned about it. So, learn about the leaders of the biotech industry, how they started their journey, how they built teams, how they motivated them, what were the challenges faced by them, how they overcame and turned them into opportunities. Whenever we are working as an entrepreneur, challenges are going to come today, tomorrow, and in future. Right? Our job is to solve them and move ahead. So go for your dream. Based on your today's learning, what will be the USP of your startup? What will be its story? How you will define its values, mission and vision. Right? Great. We'll be learning more about these in our next videos. Keep learning. Follow us on social media, Insta, Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our channel to get more related articles and keep learning. Thank you for watching this video. Do like, share and subscribe. You can call us at our helpline number, and if you have any doubts, you can also comment in the comment section. Have a great day. I'll see you soon with next video.